First and foremost, something you should know, you cannot catch a virus. And why can't you catch a virus? Because it's impossible. So there's only two things that you need to do. One, don't get a flu shot. Actually, don't get any shot. And two, don't stay in your house. There is something else you can do actually, and that is to turn off your TV and your social media. So I won't go too far into what's really going on with this worldwide pandemic. Get outside, do normal things, because if you're sitting in your house, counting the number of days in your social isolation, counting death tolls like it's a fucking Olympic medal tally on the TV, you are literally paving the way to losing your rights and freedoms, and you're gonna come out of your house with less than what you had when you went in.
So that's where we are now. So I got sent this video from this guy named Tom Barnett, and we're not going to link the video because it does not deserve any more attention than it's already got. Probably about 6 people sent me this video. I'm assuming not because they believe the content, but because it's just so fucking crazy. I mean, it really left me speechless. Chino and I watched it in my office. It's 11 minutes and 20 seconds. That was the longest, most harrowing, gut-wrenching 11 minutes and 20 seconds of my life. It was difficult to watch. So basically, the crux of this guy's argument
Pandemic
is that you cannot catch a virus. First off, he talks about his credentials.
Pandemic.
So he says, I did 6 years of science, and including medicine. Yeah, I did 6 years of science as well. Starting in the 3rd grade, I had my first science class, all the way up to my freshman year of college would have been 6 years of science. Then he says he specifically did research,
pandemic,
and studied
pandemic,
viruses and medicine. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Googling something is not a reliable source of information. I know that this may come as a shock to many of you. And then he goes into that viruses are produced by our own bodies as a response to the toxicity in our cells. And the reason people get sick is because the viruses are solvents and it causes the toxins in our cells to leach out into our body. All right, motherfucker. Tom, if I can call you Tom. What toxins? Please name them specifically. What chemicals are we talking about? He makes a big deal about the fact that viruses aren't alive, so you can't catch them. That means fuck all. You can get sick from, for example, asbestos. Asbestos is not something living. Shocking, I know. Oh, and just by breathing it in. He goes on to claim that viruses are not only not transmissible across species, but they are not transmissible from one person to another. And he says it would make sense that, since viruses affect certain tissues, and, a virus that affects the liver doesn't affect the heart, it would make sense that it can't go to another person. No, that actually doesn't fucking make sense. That's what we call a false equivalence. Tom, I have a challenge for Tom. If you believe this so strongly, and you're so righteous, let's find a strain of Ebola Zaire, a fake virus, obviously, that cannot be transmitted. He says the only way you can get it, the only way you can get a virus is by injecting it directly into your bloodstream. I'm not sure why injecting it makes a difference. He never elaborated on that point. But we won't inject Ebola Zaire. By the way, Ebola Zaire is a 90% mortality rate. It's a horrible death, causes you to die by bleeding out of every hole in your body. Basically liquefies your internal organs. Tom, if you're so fucking righteous, why don't we lay down some Ebola Zaire on the table and you can lick that motherfucker right up? And let's see how you do. My guess is you're not going to take this challenge. Hell, let's just get something, I don't know, relatively innocuous. It'll just make you really fucking sick. Let's get a strain of that. I'm sure we can find a virologist who would be happy to donate to your dumbass. You're not going to do it because you're just a fucking bullshit artist. Like all these other idiots who claim this is a hoax.
Pandemic.
Let me explain something to you. For this to be a hoax, do you realize how many people would need to be in on it? We're talking hundreds of thousands of medical professionals, scientists, people who are in the morgue, medical examiners, and a whole host of others. if you believe this is a hoax, and what people will usually say is, well, they get paid money to be silenced or whatever. If you believe this is a hoax, then you basically believe that every scientist who studies this is an immoral piece of shit who is willing to just take money in exchange for people's lives. So I don't believe that. Oh, by the way, Tom has a funny part where he talks in this really weird circular logic about how all beliefs are a form of ignorance created by ourselves, and then some kind of metaphysical crazy fucking bullshit ensues.
So remembering that viruses are created cellularly as a response to your internal environment, which means, yes, taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and beliefs, all beliefs being a form of ignorance, because you know if you have to believe something, it's because you don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to trust the hundreds of thousands of immunologists, scientists, medical professionals who spent their career studying this stuff, not just took a few science classes in school, brah. So my offer stands, Tom. Let's get you some nice Ebola Zaire, and let's see how well you do with it. My guess is you're not going to take up on this offer. But hey, if you do, at least the world would be one less fucking asshole.